For 2 decades, a young man lived in the captivity of his stepmother, hidden in plain sight while every system meant to protect him looked the other way. This is an active investigation known as the Waterbury case. Let's talk about it. 56-year-old Kimberly Sullivan is accused of imprisoning her stepson in their home for nearly 20 years. This is insane, so let's start at the beginning. He disappeared from school when he was just 11 years old. No one seemed to notice, not the school, not social services, not the community. He was confined to a room that was just 8 by 9 feet, literally locked away for as long as he could remember. His father and stepmother formally removed him from school after social workers intervened, and Kimberly allegedly ordered the child to lie during welfare checks. He was stuck in that tiny room being held captive between 22 and 24 hours a day, only being let out to do chores around the house. He would have to urinate in bottles because he had minimal access to a proper restroom. Kimberly kept him malnourished. He was given very minimal food, sometimes only 2 sandwiches a day and a few cups of water, which is not nearly enough for a growing boy. This is so sad. He remembers having to drink from the toilet at times. Fast forward to February 2025. He was 32 years old, weighed only 86 pounds, and he was desperate to get out of this hellhole house that he was living in. So he set a fire inside that 8 by 9 room to escape. Firefighters responded to the blaze and carried him out of the house. He told first responders, quote, "I wanted my freedom," end quote. He had no medical or dental care for the past 20 years. He was not allowed to take baths. His hair hadn't been cut in years. His body was literally falling apart. Setting that fire was his only way to escape. Setting fire to that house was a risk that he would have to take to escape the hellhole that he was living in. When police investigated what was left of the house after the fire, they described filthy, trash-filled rooms and evidence of a house of horror. Investigators say that the locks on the room that he was being trapped in got more secure as he got older. Multiple exterior locks, one layer after another. After he escaped, police charged Kimberly Sullivan with first-degree assault, second-degree kidnapping, first-degree unlawful restraint, cruelty to persons, and first-degree reckless endangerment. Her bail was set at $300,000, and she's currently out wearing a GPS ankle monitor. I mean, her mugshot alone, absolutely terrifying. If I saw this woman out in public, I would probably scream and run the other way. The victim, now identified as S, spoke publicly for the first time. He chose a new name, and he's a survivor working to rebuild his life. He thanked first responders and praised those helping him recover. He said, quote, "My name is my choice, and it's the first of many choices that I will make for myself now that I am free," end quote. Waterbury PD calls this one of the worst examples of inhumane treatment they've ever seen. They described his confinement similar to World War II camps. That's how awful this man was living. Authorities are now searching for witnesses, teachers, neighbors, classmates, anyone who knew this boy during these years. In order to properly convict Kimberly, they need to rebuild the timeline from the past 2 decades. Kimberly Sullivan originally pleaded not guilty, of course, and remains on bond as the investigation proceeds. Her next court date is approaching, so we'll all have to watch and see how this all turns out. I personally think she should be put behind bars for life with the father, who from my research did not do anything to stop the torture and mistreatment of this child for nearly 2 decades. Thank you for taking the time to listen to S's story. I truly hope he can start to live the life that he wants for himself. Let me know what you think about this case in the comments. It's absolutely wild to me that 20 years of this went on and no one said anything. It's absolutely bizarre. I'm so happy he got out of that house, but there's so much to talk about here.